Hi folks, my name is Tanner Littrell. I am with Abe Beverage Equipment, and we wanted to bring to you a new series of videos that I think will be helpful for a lot of startups, a lot of craft distilleries, craft breweries that are possibly thinking about getting into craft spirits, and what we do and what we can do and how our equipment can help you be more profitable, get up and going, and make the process a little bit more painless for you guys. A few things that I want to touch base on are a lot of questions that I get. I've been in this industry for 10 years now, and I get a lot of questions over what size of still do I get, what's the type of still do I get, how do I get into this market. I have a beverage that I don't necessarily want a still or want to distill anything. I just want to get my beverage out there and start making money and start marketing and getting that out to the market. A few things just to point out on the TTB website. It's very important that you do your research on the TTB website. There's tutorials, there's pictures, literally on everything step by step that you will need to, information that you will need to gather for applying for your distilled spirits plant license. And that's what we're going to be talking a little bit about today, is different definitions that fall under the distilled spirits plant license. One of the main things that you're probably thinking is, well, you have to have a still. Well, part of that you are correct. TTB's definition of a distiller is someone who produces distilled spirits from any source or substance, making or keeping mash, wort, or wash, and has a still to process that wort, mash, or wash. So if you are starting a distillery and you have a still, that's a mark you're going to have to check on the DSP application. The next section underneath that would be a processor. Generally, any person who manufactures, mixes, or bottles, otherwise processes distilled spirits or denatured spirits, or manufactures any articles containing denatured spirits. We're talking beverage. We're not going to be worrying about denaturing anything. So what they're really saying there is, you can, once you get a DSP, or you have a facility and you apply for a DSP and you don't have a still, you can purchase product in bulk, transfer it from a supplier, from a bulk manufacturer, bond-to-bond transfer. That means you don't pay tax on it until you have bottled and packaged that product, canned, bottle, or packaged that product, and sent that out to the retailer, sent that out through distribution, retail, or your tasting room. You don't pay tax on that product until you sell that product. A warehouseman is a proprietor of distilled spirits plant who stores distilled spirits in containers having a capacity in excess of 1 gallon. So if you're processing bulk spirits, you will need to have that section of your DSP application. You'll need to check that off. And you're also going to be warehousing bulk product over 1 gallon. Chances are you're going to have more than just 1 gallon of product. If applying as a distiller, you must give a description of your production process. So you're going to have to write from getting the grain in, to crushing the grain, to crushing the corn, to mashing it, your temperatures when you mash it, your temperature when you knock out. I mean, you don't have to be that detailed, but they want a breakdown, making sure that you know what you're doing to make your spirits. That's the biggest thing. Your statement must begin with the treating, mashing, or fermenting of raw materials and continue through each step of the distillation process, refining the refining process until production is complete. So A to B. A to B. If you're a distiller, you're going to have to provide an A to B process. Same thing with a processor. Just think about it, write it down, and submit it for your application. If applying as a warehouseman, you must describe how you will store bulk spirits. So they like stuff that's locked up. They want to make sure that no one's going to tamper with it. If you can lock it up in a caged space, that would be ideal. Or if you have a lock on the vessel somehow. But generally they want to see something that's grounded, that is going to be explosion proof, that's not going to give any kind of sparks, anything like that. You're still messing with bulk spirits, it's high proof. Check with your fire marshal to make sure that you can hold. There's a certain amount of volume that you can hold in your facility if it's sprinklered and unsprinklered. That is going to be one question that you will need to ask your fire marshal. If applying as a processor, we require that you provide details about the storage of bottled, cased, and packaged spirits, including the location on the premises. So if you're coming to us, if you're coming to me and you're saying, hey Tanner, I want to buy a packaging line, I'm going to start packaging my product first, I'm not going to get a still, perfect. We're going to do a layout for you anyways. If you're buying a small piece of equipment, we're going to do a layout for you, and you might as well just send us the dimensions of your facility, and our engineer can just plop out a section in the drawing and say, this is where storage goods are. So you don't necessarily need to spend a bunch of money to have a engineer draw that stuff up, or if you're capable of doing it yourself, more power to you. But you will, that is one thing that they're sticklers on. They want to know where packaged goods set in the facility for pickup. Hey folks, thanks for watching this episode of Tanner Talks. Next time we'll be discussing proof gallonage, what it is, how to calculate it. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them below or give us a shout here at Abe Equipment. Until next time, Tanner out.